Hey, I don't know why I'm doing another video. This is about parenting. This is a mom video. I got my mom hair. My mom hair is a messy bun. Easy. It's no makeup. But I am clean and dressed. I was doing my chores today, guys. I am not a house person. I don't like house person. I don't like cleaning. I'm lazy and I don't like to clean. Okay? I'm not lazy. Well, sometimes I can be super lazy, but I don't like to clean, but I will, and I see the value of cleaning, and I understand how cleaning, when your space is clean, you feel clean inside too. But as I was cleaning, it's so funny. I get a lot of like little epiphanies when I'm cleaning, so I probably should clean more. But anyway, I just had some epiphanies about parenting, and when I talk about, I've mentioned conscious parenting a couple of times, and lately I've been speaking to this issue around racism, and kind of trying to point everybody back to kindness and compassion and love. Easier said than done, I know. Everybody's in a different stage of dealing with that issue. But it just reminded me, that's kind of like the basis for everything, kindness and compassion. So how does it apply to our children? And how does that, like I was saying, we have to give people space. I never really understood what that meant. I don't know why. It's kind of simple. Sometimes I just don't get things. Like I'll be like, oh. And then like 5 years later, I'll be like, oh. So I just got it on a level. And just to me, very simply, it just means listening and allowing people to say all the crazy stuff that's been coming out of everybody's mouth, including my own. I like saying crazy things, so it's fun. I like to make people laugh, and I really think if we can just laugh, let's laugh about it. I'm trying to be crazy and silly a lot of the time, guys. To deliver the message. The message itself is serious, but let's laugh. Why not? I like to laugh at myself, and I think I used to do it more from insecurity, but I'm like, if it makes you comfortable, okay. See, an insecurity paid off. I overcame it, but I can use that to help people feel comfortable, and I think we can all, that's just a little tip. That's a side tip. Anyway, allowing space for people to heal means listening and then not reacting. Just be comfortable with that uncomfortable silence that follows whatever they're doing. They might be screaming. They might be looting. Hopefully they're not looting. But it can go to that extreme. It's a spectrum of reactions and emotions, and we have to realize that's what people are doing. They're at their own stage of awareness. So especially with our kids who are, these little balls of love that reflect, they just reflect us. They are our mini me's because we tend to project ourselves onto them. And of course we do. They're a part of us, but not a part of us. That whole conversation. But we have to allow space for our kids and once we understand that and are conscious of how we are potentially projecting negative, or I'll say unhealthy things onto our kids, like things that we do to ourselves that we don't even realize we are putting on our children. When we can learn that and kind of learn to identify when it's happening and then heal that, you can always and then you just start reacting from the healed place versus unhealed. And I got to tell you the story. Man, I took a long preamble, 3-minute preamble. Anywho, yesterday Vivian had a friend over, a play date, and they baked cupcakes. They're 10. And I remember doing that as a kid. Melanie Davis, one of my best friends from childhood, that's what we would do. She would come over and we would just make stuff. We were poor. We didn't have no money. So we're like, you know what? We'll bake cakes. I can't have a candy bar. I'll make a cake. We have flour, sugar, and butter, and chocolate. So cocoa powder. So anyway, we did a lot of baking. And I realize now, I'm like, this is payback. Everybody gets their payback in some way. I must have been making all kinds of messes in the kitchen. Let's just put it that way. So I'm like, you guys can do this because I want them to have fun. I love doing that as a kid. But I'm like, you have to clean everything up. Don't just put it in the sink to soak, because sometimes that's acceptable. But I was like, I want everything washed. I'm like, I finally got the kitchen. I don't like to clean. So I'm like, when I clean, nobody move for a week. But it's dirty. by the end of the day. So anyway, I guess that's just how it goes. Anyway, so I was like, please, they were like, yeah, we'll clean up. And oh my God, like halfway, first of all, and then I just went like laid on the bed. I was probably on Facebook posting something. And they knock on the door and they bring me like the icing from the mixer, like laden with icing. Like that was first of all, that's the only reason I bake. Like I want to I want the icing. I want the batter. I want the icing. Done. You guys can enjoy the baked good, the final thing. But that was always like a cool thing and fun thing as a kid. So I just thought it was so sweet that they brought that to me. I gotta tell you, the cupcakes were out of this world. And the icing was so delicious. And there was lots of it. So they put it in little containers. And I was like, okay, I'm already planning, like with me and the sweets. And I'm already planning, like everybody's in bed. I'm coming back out. I'm eating icing. So I'm just gonna do it. These are things I plan. You don't have a lot to plan these days, so planning my treats, my midnight snacks. Anyway, so this morning I'm cleaning everything up, and I see like she kind of washed. Our dishwasher's broken, among many other appliances that are broken in this house right now. So we've been washing the dishes. I've been washing the dishes mainly, but Jordan and Vivi will do it if I ask them. Vivi does it very reluctantly, and like with an attitude. Like I'm sorry, Your Highness, that I've asked you to wash your cup. You know what I'm saying? Wash your cup. Anywho, don't get me started on that. Anyway, so I was like, I had to like rewash half the dishes. And as I'm doing all that by hand, like the old fashioned days, I'm like, I feel my ancestors, my hair's, I've been braiding my hair and washing dishes like the old days. Come on, ancestors. It's 21st century. Anyway. I cracked myself up, you guys. Anywho, this really is a good story, and I'm going to try to wrap it up. I'm like so wordy and verbose. Anywho, and I had to take notes so I wouldn't forget. So I'm washing the dishes, and I see a broken glass with all caught up in the little mixer thing. We had a little blender thing that they had been using. And I didn't notice it until I was putting the blender thing away, and all of the glass that was caught up in it fell onto the floor. So, this is where we pause the movie. This is where I actually was able to do this in my life, and I tell people to do this. I'm like, now I'm explaining, I'm breaking it down. We're breaking it down. How to be the observer in your life. How to like try to stop yourself and not react the old way. We'll say the unhealthy way. I'll just say unhealthy. But you have to define what is unhealthy for you. Unhealthy for me is yelling and screaming. So, I just thought it was funny, like the old me, I put this down, old me versus new me reaction. Old me would have lost my mind with the glass dropping to the floor, shattering in a million pieces. I would have started screaming and yelling, ranting and raving while no one was around about, I'm the only person, and I also ask for one thing and do this and do that, I like to rant. I'm very good at ranting. I'm sure you've probably noticed that. There are positive rants. There are. But anyway, I did not react that way. I don't know. I really have changed. Something's changed inside. I'm calmer about certain things. I was able to just kind of like just be calm about it and be like, all right. Let me just sweep this up. I have to clean the floor anyway. Thanks for that reminder. I knew I had to do it. I had to sweep the floor anyway. It was an atrocious mess of crumbs. Anyway, so I swept it all up, mopped the floor and everything. And then what happened? Oh yeah, just finished cleaning up the kitchen. And I was like, I was very proud of I'm in a vacuum. I was like sweeping and vacuuming and hand washing things today. So hence the messy bun. Anyway, I always like to have a reward for my work. Usually my rewards for working out, getting things done, food is rewards. It's so, I know I have my things to work through, people. I know I do. So I was like, I must want a little bit of that icing. Why not? Why not? It's 11 o'clock or whatever time it was. It's time for a snack. So as I was, I took the icing out, spoon and everything. And I was like, of course, everything is, you know, when your kitchen is perfectly clean and you don't want one more dirty thing. I don't want one more dirty thing. If you come into the clean kitchen that has just been cleaned and you dirty something up, you absolutely must clean it right then. Like, there has to be like a window of time where like, can we just enjoy cleanliness? Just a moment. Anyway, so I had the dirty spoon, because there was still lots of icing that went back in the fridge. Taking the spoon to the sink, and there's another spoon already in there that my daughter had just done the same thing. It was so cute, and it just made me laugh. And yes, I washed both of those spoons right then and there. That old me would have been like, I would have been annoyed at everything. She left the spoon. Well, guess what? I'm leaving the spoon too. I would have done that because that's very childish, and that's what I would have done. I also would have, the old me, the minute Vivian came out of her bed, I knew she was I think she was sleeping, or I don't know if she was on Zoom. I don't know, something. Anyway, I wasn't going to go busting into her room. Maybe the old me would have just like busted into the room. Ah, you know, broken glass. But I would have waited at least until she came out, and then I would have just lit into her, you know. I would have lit into her because I would have assumed that she was doing it on purpose, that she was throwing stuff around last night. Because that actually was my first thought. I was like, Vivian broke that. Not on purpose, but just being so heavy-handed throwing stuff around. Oh, this was the other part of the story. There were so many things. The things we learn when we do our chores. Anyway, so I was, what was the analogy here? Or the funny part? The funny part was, I would have assumed that she broke that glass just from like her anger and ranting and raving. Blah, blah, blah. Never mind, we are hand washing things. There's a little drying area and we prop stuff up and things fall over. But that was not, even this morning, that wasn't my reactions. But I was like, you know what, I'm letting it go. Like, I'm healed enough to be like, I'm not gonna go ranting and raving down the hallway. So as I'm doing the dishes that were right there and thinking about all this, I reached down. I mean, luckily it was very gently. I had broken a glass just by gently tossing things around and I had to laugh about it because I'm like, wow, okay, I get it, universe. I get it. So just the difference between like reacting to something from where I say I was a more conscious, not even so much healed, but just being conscious of how you're reacting. And the whole healed, unhealed thing has to do with the issues that you have, making sure that you're not projecting them onto your kids and giving them that space. The space thing came in last night when she was getting in trouble about other things. You had the phone taken away and had to do the dishes. It all led up to, you're doing the dishes right now. Because, yeah, there was some yelling. Not perfect. So, yeah, Vivian's watching this whole transformation in me, and like, I'm trying. I'm going to keep at it and keep consistent with it because I'm seeing positive results in her. So, anyway, I just thought it was really funny. And I'm talking too long, but I hope everybody has a great day. Let's remember to, we get serious, but I laugh a lot. Let's just try to laugh about some things. Laughter is good for you. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.